floodplain may connect to city water. My actual city water connection comes from the floodplain.
Anymore.
So that's
After that.
Any more after that?
Right.
So what if you upgraded your home there, though?
You have a home there or your connection already. Yeah, you'd be grandfathered.
Okay, so the connection is safe, it's just a matter of, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, not very many of you down there that are affected by this, and this only, you see, this FEMA thing, this only affects the flood insurance.
Gotcha.
And so we have to sort out which one, do you want some of the other things actually are just there for flood insurance, or some of the other things there for actual way of doing it? There's so many of them.
Would it theoretically affect, so we have the connection by the meter, would it affect the pipe or the hose coming from there if that were replaced or anything? Or is it?
I don't think it would, because that's on your property,
Okay.
like you already have the connection, so if
Gotcha.
you move the pipe, that's on your property, you already have the connection. And I think,
Replacing, not.
yeah,
putting
replacing,
in.
not putting a new, I think this
Gotcha.
was part of the waste, or the water treatment, grant that we got, I think is why we,
Well, there's so many of them,
Right,
several different
yeah.
times it's updated, it's hard to keep track of the language all the way along and the different things. And you're talking about the, having to flood-proof the different water connections and things too. It doesn't say you're grandfathered in or not on that flood-proofing. 'Cause
Anytime a water line gets submerged by a flood, then and there's a possibility of contamination. So, because the flood water has all kinds of nasty things in it, and so that's why we put sewer lines under water lines always, you know, just in case something leaks in it and
That's after
could
getting water.
possibly get contaminated.
And they say the sewer lines, and so, you know, that's what you need to get figured out.
so should we table this till we talk to those
Yes.
people?
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody wanna,
I'll make a motion to table, what are we on, FEMA flood ordinance.
Do you want us to do any kind of work in gathering any more data, or do you think there's enough data at this time?
I'd like to see a map.
Well, there are,
Yeah.
the FEMA maps are online.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, you go to FEMA and you can find them there.
So Wendy, you're wanting to table, what, until we can meet? with
yeah,
those
maybe,
guys?
yeah, and I seconded, because we definitely need more information.
Absolutely.
Cynthia, there is a monitoring station at Arrow that we use for the city for our monthly sewer report, and it has data going back a long time.
It's at Wild Post too, yeah.
So, you know,
Maybe
it
they'll
has
be
the
using
height, the gauge height of the river, so it would show flooding if you looked at that data. But
The National Weather Service in Spokane has those records that go all the way back to when they planted that
yeah.
digital.
But that's the only one that's
River
closest to us that I know. That's one we have to use, even though it's an Arrow, but that's the closest one on the Potlatch that I know of.
Isn't that the one where they saw when our water line broke? That the river level went up when our water line broke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be good if they looked at that data, that would be helpful.
Now let's move on to the sidewalk.
Okay, so we had a little bit of a internet email snafu last week with TDS. I had the presentation for the sidewalks. I thought I printed it out, but anyway, the reason it's on the agenda is because I've already spent my sidewalk budget, most of it, when we cut those trees down, all 4 trees on the sidewalk. So the estimate is for $8,800 total, $8,800. That's to mitigate 46 trip hazards on existing sidewalks and make us ADA compliant. So Bonnie suggested putting it on the agenda and asking City Council if they want to spend any of our ARPA money and do it.
We'll check on your picture.
Hang on.
Come on. We'll just have it.
So ADA compliant, is that gonna include, are they putting in like the ramps and stuff like that?
No, but they cut it so that it's less than 1/8 of an inch thick, so that a wheelchair, that it won't bump a
At each
wheelchair.
intersection.
Well, at each crack or each ramp or whatever, they cut it level, they cut it.
Okay, Okay,
Right.
so it's just
No
on the current sidewalks, they're not creating new approaches to the sidewalks?
Correct,
Okay.
they're not creating.
But when you take and cut, if you got
So it's like
a
46.
little hump
Sure,
in
that's
your
it.
sidewalk, and you cut that off, then you make it so thin, you cannot, you'll just break off.
So what they said
What you need to do
is,
is cut it out, peel it out, pour the cement.
so their rule is 2 inches. If the crack is bigger than 2 inches, they won't mess with it. They recommend replacing the sidewalk. And most of them are less than 2 inches. They said most sidewalk pours are 4 inches, and it will retain its structure if they do that. So, I know Dick has plans to work on the Granny's Pantry sidewalk possibly this summer. And we don't have to do the whole $8,800, but I'm just saying, it's a really slick way of,
And you don't currently have anything left in the budget for that part
well,
of
I
it?
don't know how much I have, but I know I spent about $3,500 to $4,500 on trees, getting all those
What's
trees
left
taken
on it?
out. I think the budget's only like $5,000 for sidewalks, it's not very,
Sidewalks, I have 5,000.
And you spent how much?
yeah, how much do we have left?
I don't have it
Don't have
current,
it,
no.
okay.
And this one's for, since I can find out,
Yeah, I don't think I
then we
spent
can go, because we've got
5,000.
time, because we can't do it right now, but,
Yeah.
we got time, I can figure that out, because hopefully then I can update and do the period all the way through, March.
So, the ARPA funds, I know we've talked about a lot of different things with the ARPA funds. How much of that have we spent, do we have earmarked, how much is actually left?
So we have to spend it by the end of the year?
We have to earmark it by
Oh,
the end of
earmark
the
it
year.
by the end of this year.
And how much is left?
Well, so there's like 80,000 or 90,000 left.
Total,
Total.
but we have, that's not, we already earmarked half of that.
Okay.
Does some
For
of that go for the pickup? The dump truck?
I don't know,
Or
I think some
something.
did go for
Plow
the
and
truck.
the.
The plow and the sander.
Yeah.
But along with the sidewalks, I did get a paving estimate from Poe, and so we were thinking of possibly using some of the ARPA money to finish out some paving too. So I don't know if anybody else has any ideas of what they want to spend it on, but.
I'm completely supportive of what you need these funds for. It beats having the city sue because somebody falls and trips in a 2.5-inch crack.
Well, there has been a few complaints.
I've been getting them too.
I have tripped in front of Granny's pantry and fell down, and that's the reason why I had to have knee surgery.
I say take care of it.
Because I tripped and hurt it. Of course, I'm not gonna blame the city, but I mean, I
Right.
really did trip and I fell flat down. And
So-
it's that crack at Granny's, in front of Granny's, that needs to be taken care
So
of.
How much is the paving quote?
So we had Poe come, which they don't normally respond, I can't usually get married, but they did come out. And I had them do First Avenue up by Emily Gross Close's parents. So that road and then coming down is all alligatory and the garbage truck tore out the corner, so there's that road. There's the top of Third, the very top of Third. There's State Street over here where it's all alligatory, that would be a complete overlay. And then there is, I also had them include the approach to the fire hall to finish that out, and it includes the flagging, because the state requires us to do flagging. So the total estimate is $70,375.
70,375.
We have 2 years' budget to spend, because we didn't do it last year, so, you know,
Justin, did you say this would go all the way down Third,
no, top of Third,
top of Third?
so top of Third. The very, like above Roger Kepter, like way up at the
Oh,
top.
gotcha.
That road is all,
But not down below here.
not yet. We're trying to go in the priority of our transportation study of the worst first.
Okay.
So these roads are like breaking apart, like,
It's all gonna get worse over
Crumbling.
time.
so once we
Yeah.
get these actually a thin overlay, then we can start doing more chip sealing and working on, Third didn't get done. for the chip seal.
So I would say though, like that's the trail down there, and you got a lot of people on bikes, and a lot of people transverse that to get to that trail. And I don't know, it seems like that would be a priority one.
Okay.
I know you got a lot of them.
So this is an estimate from Poe. Knife River called today and wants to bid it. I've
What?
never had them come out because they don't normally do small jobs, but someone in town is working for that company now. And all of a sudden they want to come out and do bid. So this is at the end of the total, and maybe we can include more things in, but,
In particular, that one, I would say.
you know, the street
Just kind of
budget.
a whole right
Yeah,
bottom
that
of-
dip.
Yeah.
I think the street on here was 27,500 each year for street repairs, so we technically have pretty much double that for our paving budget, so about $50,000 to $60,000 anyway. So spending 10,000 more of ARPA funds to get this done,
And the
Or
sidewalks are
more.
20,000 with the sidewalks.
and 20 with the sidewalks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I would like to know what our ARPA funds look like,
Okay,
so that we, I mean, can prioritize.
I know exactly what's earmarked and, yeah.
Especially if we have a little more to extend down.
we could definitely have them look at third.
Yeah.
There is a dip at the bottom.
Are we
and-
talking about just the road, or are we talking about the sidewalk also?
Well, I don't, because I can't print it out right at the moment,
Okay,
I don't, if there's any blue marks on that sidewalk, they looked at it.
gotcha.
All the little tiny blue marks are numbered, and each one is a geolocated spot on
It's a
the map.
marker.
It's
It's a marker, yeah.
marked.
Right.
So, like I said, they won't do anything on a sidewalk that's crumbly, or in bad repair, bad way, they won't. And those we'll have to do ourselves, but, yeah.
So, should we table this till we get all of our, like, maybe you can get find out your presentation and we can get our exact numbers, so we know what we can afford.
I agree.
I move to table the sidewalk trimming costs until we can get a quote from Knife River and some more information from Dustin and Bonnie, get our ARPA funds, so we know exactly what we have, so we know what we can spend.
Second.
It is so cool, because every single one is on there. So cool. And then, they marked everything.
Let's see, we're down to 10, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Council consider deciding use of automatic aid. If there's a city attorney.
So this was given to me last month by the city of Kendrick after they had already passed it.
Oh, that's nice.
Apparently it was a carbon copy of what they had passed several years ago, I don't remember the dates on. So they just wanted it updated, of course they gave it to Jennifer for her review, and she did make some changes, basically just to make the agreement between the cities rather than between the two fire departments, because the fire departments are not their own entities, they're part of the cities. So anyway, she has looked that over and okayed it, but it's you have anything else you need to say about that agreement and why it's important?
Well, it doubles our manpower, and we're going through an ISO rating here this summer.
This fall.
This summer,
Okay.
and
And that's for insurance
for your insurance.
Yeah, for your fire insurance rating.
And yeah, we actually need that. If we want to keep our, we have a 5 status right now.
So Wendy, this still only applies to the fire department though, even though it's the two cities?
It's an agreement between the two cities that's regarding the fire departments.
But
Just,
they are.
Yeah, the city owns the
they're
fire.
strictly the fire department.
Strictly the fire
Okay, so,
departments.
okay.
Mhm.
They have to work together because
Sounds good to me, sounds.
enough manpower.
All right, well, I guess I'm gonna make a motion to sign the mutual automatic aid agreement with City of Kendrick.
I second that.
All in favor? Passes. So we need to,
It's just the one, we had it as a 4-year, it's sitting at $67,305.93. If we roll it over for 6 months instead of 4 years, we would get 4.76% annually on that. We average every quarter a little over $400 in interest.
So if we do longer, then what's the interest?
If you do a year, it keeps going down, 4.67. If you do 18 months, 4.43. If you do even 2 years, you're only getting 4.8%.
So it sounds like we're better off to just do the 6 months at a higher rate.
I would recommend that just because, the rate's better, plus once again, with the wastewater, we can always, when it comes out and we need that money to help with the loan or whatever, we can pull this certificate and we'd have 75,000 towards the wastewater that we could use. So that's an option too. I just like to keep my options open because you can't take the money out of the certificate without paying high penalty.
Yeah.
So we kind of really don't know how bad this wastewater improvement's gonna be for the city, so.
The rates could be very different in 6 months.
That's right.
I move to renew it for just 6 months.
I'll second.
All in favor? Passes. Justin, what happened to him? Oh, there he is.
So, we basically talked about several things. We talked about the sidewalks, we talked about paving. This is the Midco report from their dive when they cleaned and everything. I've read through it. It's not that bad. There's only a couple recommendations of lengthening a vent and putting in a small door in the big door. I don't know why. But it doesn't sound like there's any major structural repair, which is good. And you guys are all free to look at this and read this. It's for the actual EPA copy. As you guys know, Brian resigned, and we already have 4 applications as of today. So that closes on the 25th. I guess we're going to be doing, we'll figure out how to do interviews, and how we want to do that. I will be at the training conference April 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And Frank is going to cover for me while I'm gone. So it may be after that we actually get to start doing interviews. It just kind of depends on how fast things move. And the backhoe is fixed. The sweeper is fixed. We tried sweeping. We got 1 pass, and the brakes failed on the sweeper. It was something we couldn't fix, so we took it to Kendrick Ag, and they fixed it. They had it for 2 weeks, and I guess Kendrick was sweeping today, so I think it's back up and running. And I think that is all I have.
On this here, is that a recommendation or a requirement? I think
So it says significant deficiency, yes, which means the EPA,
Once it done.
there's a resolution box that says, if yes, indicate type of breach and how it should be repaired. So they will follow up with this down, before they do their next inspection and want everything. But it doesn't sound like it's gonna be a whole lot of money out of the budget, which is good. I mean, these are things that are just sort of routine maintenance, fix type things, so.
Good to keep our reservoir in good shape so we don't go through what Lewiston went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Definitely good shape. Do you have anything? No, nothing?
Good.
Oh,
We got 5 firemen going to the Clearwater Fire Academy this weekend,
Nice.
Where is that being built at?
Orfino. That's it.
You have all the paperwork you need? I'll second.
All in favor?
I got all my paperwork sent off and approved.